Good afternoon, everyone. This is Maria Marunic, and I'm Digital Marketing Specialist at AVEVA Select Gulf. First of all, and before starting, on behalf of all my colleagues, I would like to say thank you for joining our today's webinar, AVEVA Solution for the Renewables Industry. As you have received an invitation, today our speaker will be my colleague Tamim Kemeh. He will be leading the 45-minute session explaining to us about the market insights, the main challenges facing the renewables industry, and how AVEVA solution can help you to overcome these challenges. If you have any questions during the webinar, don't hesitate to put them in the question box. So my colleague Tamim will reply to them after the webinar. I'll give the word to my colleague Tamim and we will start.
Okay, thank you, Maria. Thank you. I'm really excited for the webinar, the session today. So the session today is about the renewables and what AVEVA can offer. Sorry. So before starting to drilling to what we can offer from an AVEVA perspective on the renewables, I would like to highlight the challenge or the opportunity that are presented here in the market from the renewable perspective. So the graph in front of you, it shows the number of the project that has been projected and have been announced that is compared to the 2006 projection. As you can see here in 2016, in 2006, the number of projects that has been projected for the solar is basically lower than the number of projects that has been projected in 2021. And the number of projects are 30 times more than the project has been projected in 2006. So this shows that there are a lot of projects in the pipeline for the solar, and the same applies on the wind farms. So this shows that there is a huge and massive growth on the investment that has been put for the renewables and the decarbonization of the power generation and to make it more sustainable. Now there are many players that has been introduced to this market, and we're talking about the oil and gas, private equity investors, even the steel and the car manufacturing as well has been participating or coming to invest on the renewables and the wind and the renewables power generation as in general. So in 2026, this is where the overall global renewable electricity capacity will be projected to be 80% more than what was on 2021 levels, and this is where will provide over 5,000 gigawatts in total capacity. And by 2023, the renewables will grow up to will generate more than 60% of the world electricity. And this leads us with the question is how really the renewables, I would say, is growing. The very simple answer is that faster what we think. Now, of course, the technology, from a technology perspective of the renewable, and this is where actually attracts the investors, that the overall investing on these projects from a technology perspective on the wind turbine and the solar was massively very expensive and very costly, but it's not the case right now, and this is where the overall projection for those projects has been increasing rapidly. So what's the drivers and the challenges that we see that most of the those key plants or renewable plants have in common. And this is what we listed as just only a few of those challenges. And of course, during the course of this presentation, we're going to highlight how we are covering and solving those challenges using our tools, and to enable more of production enhancement and production focus into running a sustainable operation. So of course, the pressure of making a profit over a short term, since most of those plants are investing on the long term. So the pressure of making those short profits, that's really one of the imperatives that we see with most of the operator owners of these plants. Not also that promoting to provide the right tool for the right person who has been participating in running that plant, whether from an operation level or maintenance level, or even on the plant itself. And of course, to have that flexible, so flexible and easy to collaborate among departments. So you focus on making that more efficient in terms of providing the overall goal, or achieving the overall goal of the organization. So some of the initiatives that we took on play here is that first time to increase the visibility and control over all the plants combined, and that's of course to meet the budget that has been scheduled, and of course increase the asset utilization and the situational awareness to enhance for more to be more quick on responding to more critical events, and of course digitize to attract the new generation workers to work on that field, and of course increase the usability of renewables by optimizing the power generation, and not to forget is to measure and reduce the carbon footprint for those existing facilities. Now, with those in hand, and this is where what we're bringing today is what AVEVA could offer on bringing those technology trends, such as the to digitize all the processes that is undergoing in the plant, and of course including the AI and the machine learning technology to enhance the utilization of the assets, being able to handle the analysis of the big data generated across different plants, and be able to extract the right information for the faster decision making, and of course connecting all the edges from an external worker or from a remote worker, and consolidate all those informations into one play. And not to forget is how we can enable the fast how we can do a fast enablement for the operators, for the maintenance workers who are working on the plant to work and to be enabled on the tool that they will use within those renewable plants. So as an overall, to drive that unity, I would say, of these subsystems, and we understand that in many of those plants there are many subsystems and supporting systems being used, but not all of them is being used from a common operation ground. And this is where we wanted to ensure one of the three of the main items that we see is to improve the safety overall operation within those plants and combine, and of course bring in the efficiency into the running the operation and the maintenance, and taking the right decision accordingly, and make it more sustainable and reliable in terms of decision making and in terms of a future plan or future target. So what we intend to provide from that unity is really providing a real-time management to support the overall operation in an energy market, and of course to be able to analyze the behavior and suggest a prescriptive action to increase the energy production, which is an ultimate goal for all the plants. And of course, not to forget is to increase the visibility to the critical information that needs to be attended during the operation, and of course improve the efficiency and operation and reduce the overall cost. Now, with this, what we bring in on the table here from AVEVA is basically to connect and to interconnect to all those subsystems and bring in our experience on providing those interconnections and operation philosophies embedded with our solution is actually the key of starting to contextualize now those information in a different perspective depending on who's accessing the system, and to provide not only a raw data access, but rather than an information, insightful information that enables you to take a next action, to make it more faster and rapid on deciding what should be the next action to be taken and what is the best and optimal scenario to follow, and of course to maximize the utilization of the existing assets. And this is where increasing the performance, monitoring the performance closely on each and every asset to know that we are utilizing the most percentage out of the existing unit, out of the existing assets within the plants. And of course, the costs that are aligned with the operation, the maintenance, where we need to capture and optimize the cost as well and reduce it as possible without affecting the operation integrity within all plants. And this is where we bring in our experience and knowledge into within the AVEVA Unified Operations Center for Renewables. So one of the capabilities that we drill down is basically we need to provide a one accessible information management center or an operation center who can give you that drill down capabilities to an individual sites. And this is where it will enable you to see and to visualize the detailed operational analysis that you would require from each and every site individually. And that's, of course, to provide an holistic view, an impact on the upstream and the downstream operation without affecting the ongoing operation on each individual local plants. And contextualize and merge those data types to create a deeper understanding on what those various systems and aspects of operation has been put in terms of a contextualized view, point of view, and of course handling all the alarms and events that are necessary to take an immediate action and recorded actions in order to ensure the safety and efficiency of the operation, and of course provide a prescriptive actions to be taken in case of any critical alarm has been set. So one of the things that can be provided within the Unified Operations Center, electrical calculations related to maybe a power delivery, comparison trends, the generated and the demand trends, total energy generated, the average of the plant availability, maintenance cost, maybe an access to a third-party systems related to BMS of the building, or maybe security system, CCTVs, and access cards. So different third parties or different third-party systems and applications that are underlying within each and every plant. This is where we wanted to bring it. We want to bring it to a one consolidated source of information, not to consolidate or dump all those data into a one common database. No, but we wanted to provide it in the term of a context affirmative way that will enable you to optimize the operation, the overall operation and maintenance within the plant. So this is as an overall what you should be expecting at the end, to provide a single source of information that are contextualized in a way that enables you to perform your day-to-day operation. So by unifying those operation from multiple plants across the globe, this is where we'll enhance the tracker performance of all sites, and that's putting the assets in the middle, where it all at the end of the day connected to an asset within each plant, and of course provide a greater context among the real-time generation demand. And of course, when we talk about the renewables, where we rely on the forecast of weather forecast, that how it should impact our production and how it should impact in our generation tool. So the solution is basically an out-of-the-box solution. So we provided those experiences for the past many years in terms of a template that can be deployed, plug and play, and of course you can customize that as you go, and align with many of the areas within the overall operation of these multiple plants, is aligned with the operation area, revenue forecast, and maintenance departments, and to make it more efficient and faster in response, and make it more visible into what actions to be taken and when to be taken. Of course, not to forget is the advanced analytics and a prediction on these sites, where it will provide us sort of insightful information on how this asset is behaving, and when this asset behavior could affect our production or our generation within the plant. So this is something that also provides you and provides you an information on these assets to ensure their reliability as well. So the approach here is very simple. Is basically we start with the connectivity, is the connect and collect part. So what we have within AVEVA is quite extensive driver sets that can bring in the information from any kind of data source, whether it's in hardware, whether it's a software. So any kind of information that is residing in any application that can be connected using the AVEVA connectors and APIs drivers. And of course, using the media of LAN or Wi-Fi or any kind of connectivity media, that is something as well supported from our connect and collect strategy within the AVEVA Unified Operations Center. Now, once we have the data, the connection with the data sources being established, this is where we need to build in the core and bring in our operation experience into the play, where we utilize the template approach that we have been embedded within our solution. So by deploying the renewable templates, this is where bring in the experience of an over plants operation for all the renewables, whether solar, wind turbine, or hydrogen. So once we build in the core of the Unified Operations Center, this is where at the end we want to visualize and contextualize those experience and insightful information into a one common view. So whoever wants to have an access to the system will define the level of access, what are the cross functions that he will be collaborating, what kind of the dashboards and KPIs that he wants to be accessed, how the drill analysis will help, how the drill down context will help him to perform his actions or day-to-day actions, what is required for him to take decisions, how he can collaborate with the different stakeholders within the organization for many decisions to be taken or for many actions to be held within those multiple plans management. So starting from the contextualizing of the information or bringing the information, and this is where I highlight the IT and OT convergent capability within the AVEVA UOC is basically bringing the information or the data raw data from the different subsystems and contextualize those information using out-of-the-box connectors and adapters and APIs where we need to establish that connectivity, and that of course the connectivity, it could be a bidirectional, or it could be through a diode or through firewall. So we intend to provide the best of drivers where we use those drivers as a plug and play. So this is where we deploy our adapters and deploy the native drivers for each of the used, I would say, or the currently used technology or software or tool within the client renewable plants. And this is where we utilize the existing knowledge that has been built over years within that tool and bringing that into a context, into a common ground or common interaction ground. So this is where it gives us really a flexibility on being an agnostic, and this is one of the key points and key stress points actually we stress it within our solution by providing AVEVA, is that we are really agnostic and we are flexible. So we don't intend to change any of the existing solution that has been invested by the client for many years within any plans. And this is where we'll capitalize on whatever investment that has been put in the different tools and software now, and we'll bring into a one common ground. From an industrial designing the core, and this is where we would use our experience, and this is how it starts, is basically to connect to third-party sensors or data sources, whether from an applications or whether from a software that is being used by the clients, and utilize the AVEVA operation control capability by deploying the right tool to contextualize, to manage, to visualize, and of course plug in the connectors and plug in all the I would say the sensors, the software sensors that will bring in the data from different data sources or hardware. And into that we would create that an enterprise operation information management layer, where we would list those parameters and create the asset framework for the entire assets. And this is where we would create a media layer, I would say, between the operation and a common ground between the operation and the maintenance, and where we talk and emphasize more on the asset language here, and look at this operation from an asset perspective, and manage those information from that layer. Now, once we prepare and we utilize the templates that is being provided by AVEVA for the Unified Operation Center of Renewable or for Renewable, we will use that to contextualize the information using the AVEVA operation management interface for a comprehensive and enterprise visualization framework. And of course, utilizing the Pi Vision, the AVEVA Pi Vision, and utilizing the AVEVA Data Hub to use or to extract the most information from the collected subsystems and collected raw data from different data sources. And of course, we can then do plug in another tools that from AVEVA, so related to an AI, related to machine learning, related to AR, VR, related for enterprise reporting. So business intelligence. So there are many tools that can be plugged in once you prepare the common ground using the AVEVA UOC for renewables. And of course, those tools can be seamlessly integrates among each other. So we create that common integration grounds among different tools, and of course to be more subjective on what is the objectives that ultimately we want to achieve. And this is where we plug in different kind of tools from AVEVA as well to support that scenario or use case. So some of the functionalities that can be provided using the AVEVA Unified Operation Center and particularly the operation management interface, which is the OMI, is like providing the dashboards and reports, trends, provide the drill down capabilities into different subsystems, providing an overview on the operation, and of course not to forget the alarms and events. Rationalization that can be that can be conducted using the AVEVA UOC. And of course, there are many set of functionalities that can be also provided part of the OMI, and the information integration and the visualization from other subsystems. We provide sort of kind of like flexible visualization or an enterprise visualization framework that will help you in drilling down for the information that will help you to take the next decision or help you to decide on what information or what actions to be taken at the real-time perspective. So this is as an overall how the screen will look like, and as you can see, it's a one common place for all kind of questions that you have within the operation team, within the maintenance team, and engineering as well. And this is where we'll move to some of the say the benefits and the ROIs that we've seen from the many deployed unified operations is really we tend to provide the response time to enhance the response time up to 5 seconds, and that will improve the safety. So from an efficiency, we have 50% increased the event recognition and 80% less system engineering efforts, because what we are providing is providing those or the solution of UOC based on a templatized approach. And of course, to increase the productivity by 90% and increase the worker productivity on that level by 18%. And this is one of the key touched aspects that we've seen from the many deployed solutions using the AVEVA UOC. Now, I will leave you now with the demo that will walk you through the solution, and the solution about the AVEVA UOC.
AVEVA's Unified Operations Center for Renewables ties together data from your wind and solar generation sites into a single unified dashboard for operations and analysis. This is a brief demo of our starter application to help accelerate the deployment of your wind or solar UOC. At the landing page, the user is presented with a map of available wind and solar sites. These sites are identified with the wind or solar icon and show the current performance ratio for each. Here, users at all levels of the organization are provided overall capacity and generation metrics by generation type, which are derived by region as shown on the bottom. Using the map, a user can select a site and view site level information. Here, a simple model of a site is presented showing overall site KPIs and weather information. The graphics shown in the display can be reconfigured and scaled up to better reflect your specific site layout. Each site is segmented into 4 categories. For operations and control, you can monitor your assets at different levels of the asset model, including substation, transformer, and block level. Drilling down to the individual assets allows you to see additional operations metrics, which are provided in real time. A good example is the block level overview, allowing you to see the status for inverters, combiners, as well as active panels with power generation metrics. Here, block 1 appears to have reduced availability. Drilling down further to the inverter and solar string view reveals a tabular view of the panels. You can see that one of the panels is experiencing a failure, and the operator can contact field staff directly or issue a work order through the AVEVA work order plugin to have a technician perform an inspection. The breadcrumb navigation automatically expands to your location in the asset hierarchy and can be used to navigate through your asset model. For asset revenue and performance, the commercial and customer service analyst can monitor output and revenue generation. These KPIs, such as levelized cost of electricity, yield, and availability, presented over weekly, monthly, or yearly intervals, are essential to track and optimize financial performance. Analysis of these metrics can help an operator set future growth plans where they build additional capacity or optimize short-term maintenance activities to ensure availability and production. Forecasting and analysis metrics allows your scheduling analyst to see historical trends for demand and generation. The operator can then ensure availability will be optimized to meet a high demand situation, reducing non-renewable generation costs. From a maintenance and availability perspective, your asset management staff can track availability and downtime metrics. For wind operations, a very similar layout is presented with the same navigational pillars and KPIs customized for wind power. The system tracks overall site generation metrics and weather, including wind conditions. Here also, the graphics can be tailored to better represent your specific site. This tabular view allows you to focus in on lower performing or inactive turbines and drill down for further analysis. Here, the turbine view shows specific data for that asset as well as CCTV footage, which can be incorporated into any of our visualizations. The AVEVA UOC also provides workflow management, which allows for modeling, execution, and analysis of your workflow processes. Here, an incident dashboard for operations is presented, showing incidents by system type and status. These workflows can be customized to better represent more complex work task execution as required. For new and existing Pi customers, Pi vision screens already built for specific assets can be viewed directly through the UOC to gain additional value from your Pi investment. This concludes our brief demo. Please contact your...
So this is basically what you should be expecting at the end of the day by deploying the AVEVA Unified Operations Center. And of course, there are many aspects that we cannot cover entirely in this webinar, but there's the predictive maintenance on each and every assets. I can highlight the way of access of that predictive maintenance. So for an existing customers who utilize an information on that aspects, this is where you have an access to the asset performance perspective on each and every assets. And of course, you can have some of the information such as the daily generation capacity, the status, what is the overheat alarm, and what are the manufacturers. And of course, you can have to access the predictive analytics via AVEVA by, of course, be directed using that link. And of course, here you can drill down into what is the status, the overall status of each and every assets. And we're taking an example of the wind, the directions for the GE01, the asset number 01, where you can see the forecasted and predicted readings from the collected from the assets. And of course, you can see the prescriptive actions that needs to be taken, and how many sensors is connected to the module. It's sort of replicating the operational module and predicting what could that asset be affected and affected in, and of course training modules accordingly, and building the experience as well within that module. So this is only an example of something that you can drill on and drill on the asset maintainability and operation enhancement, where you can make it more efficient and rather efficient and more better to get an insight of these assets prediction. So what we can provide the UOC is pretty much flexible on the kind of development or deployment, that you can have within an AVEVA platform. So you can have a combination of a cloud and on-premise solution using the AVEVA. And this is actually makes us unique on terms of what we can provide from an AVEVA perspective, is that we are pretty much flexible on providing the both end solutions at one time. So at one spot, where you can have again a cloud versus on-premise solution on the same deployment. And the experience that we're bringing by AVEVA is that we are enabling the templatized deployment approach, where you can utilize the existing templates that we build and we always developing those templates that will enhance the operation and enhance the response time, and of course managing the entire operation over multiple plans. And the compatibility where we can actually bring in the data source from any set of data source or sensors or database or application. So we absolutely been acting as a common platform for all the sub-tools that is being used and utilized by the clients. And not to forget as well, the most important part is to enable the collaboration among different silos that has been over-existed in many plans. So we are intent to provide those common ground collaborations among different departments. So this is basically concludes our webinar today, and I will it's ideal for any further questions to be asked. Maria,
Yes, thank you, Tamim, for the webinar. And we have the first question. So what is Flex Plan and how it works?
Okay, so for the Flex, it is okay. If I can have one slide, maybe it will be better to explain. So within Flex is the AVEVA AVEVA Flex is basically it's a commercial program that provide an accessibility to all the offerings from AVEVA, and this is based on subscription and a credit base. So if you can have an on-premise solution or a cloud solution, or maybe you can have an access to the performance portfolio or performance tools and solutions that is provided by AVEVA, and of course the operational tools that are provided by AVEVA, and all of the other solutions combined from our one portal. So the Flex Plan is it gives you a little bit more of the flexibility on selecting the right tool for you for selecting the right tool for you, and of course utilize it in a manner that will help to optimize and enhance your operation.
Thank you, Tamim. And we have the second question. What is the difference between subscription and flex?
Yeah, again, so the subscription in AVEVA terms, or in any other terms, is basically selecting the providing a subscription over a selected products. Now the flex is basically, it is a subscription, but it doesn't really give you a limitation on what products you can use within AVEVA. So that's basically the difference. The flex is measured with the number of credits, and the subscription is basically measured on which product that you're using, and then we'll measure on a dollar sign.
Okay, thank you. And next question is it necessary to have AVEVA solution in the plant to deploy the USC renewables?
Of course not. This is where we come in with our strength of connecting and collecting the information from any subsystem. So if a plant that does have AVEVA local operation tools, that's well and good. If not, absolutely, we are not limited to have any of the AVEVA's products within that plant to create to create the AVEVA UOC for renewables, or to do the predictive analytics, or to do the advanced analysis for that.
Thank you, Tamim. And we have the last question. It's how identify when we need AVEVA and what solution component to utilize?
Of course, now there are many solutions that can be part of the AVEVA UOC, and those solutions could serve many areas from operation or maintenance, or maybe an engineering or learning. So as you can see here, the flexibility that we give within AVEVA UOC is that of course all of the supplied solution components, it's not necessarily for them to be deployed at one shot, I would say, but it can be, of course, deployed based on the customer requirements or the objectives that ultimately you want to achieve with the client. So for multiple plants, for multiple areas that are separated geographically, this is where basically we would use the AVEVA to combine those all different operations, or local operations or regional operations, into a one consolidated operation platform. So of course we can discuss that in detail, maybe at the latest session, or maybe we can discuss it with the one who asked the questions. But of course there are many aspects that we can evaluate to identify what are the actual components that you require to be embedded within the AVEVA UOC.
Sure. Thank you, Tamim. So thank you everyone for joining our webinar today, and follow our social media channels to stay updated. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.